She's the greatest part in the multiverse. It all started with a car, with a flip of a redstone morning mist. It really wasn't hard. Was a lucky draw, could have been real wrong. And then she doubled down. Well, the moon was kind, and from her own mind, she became the best around. She drew a card and took a chance. Turn it back, time to advance. Everywhere time was strong, didn't know what she had done. Speeding down the plane around, with her friend broke and a killer riff. Planes walker, fail on hopper. The music melts hearts and lungs. She's the greatest part of our time. She danced with the moon and she made a wish that beguiled the prince of the fae. She won the heart of a dragon god, and then she went away. She's calmed the fury of all night hell and brought a demon to tears. She's twisted the mind of a great archmage with a storm and a wicked sneer. She took the deck of many things and used it to unlock her dreams. Everywhere time was strong, didn't know what she had done. Speeding down the plane of rift, with her friend broke and killer riff. Planes walker, fail on hopper. The music now talks in lungs. She's the greatest part of our time. She's been to Crin and Eberron, to Ravnica she's been and gone. The Feywild courts were so impressed. They gifted her the morning mist. Everywhere tumble strong, didn't know what she had done. Speeding down the plane of rift, with her friend broke and a killer riff. Planes walker, fail on hopper. The music now talks in mind. She's the greatest part of our time.
Nice. Nice. Welcome, everybody, to Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything in Idle Champions. I'm your host, Gaarawarr. I'm here usually on Fridays. To do this with everybody, to talk and answer questions and discuss. Yeah. If you're looking for a chest code, there's a very nice one in chat. I'm copying it out of chat right now for when I get into an adventure here. But first, we should probably talk like the new content that got dropped. We'll talk about like weekend buffs. There's weekend buffs. It's a natural time gate weekend. We're gonna do some time gates today. It's actually why I'm out at the map screen. What else? I feel like it's really been a slow week. I can't even do that bit without laughing. I was gonna say I feel like it's been a really slow week for Idle Champions in terms of news, but yeah, everybody knows that's a lie. Yesterday, all the tea got spilt all over, and I think they're still trying to clean it up. Yeah, so we'll talk about that too. We'll talk about all of that and in any of your questions. We have Sasha here pulling questions in chat already. I've already got one in there that I'm gonna have to get to here in a bit. But we did have another drop of content for Icewind Dale this week. Up here. If you remember, we kind of squirreled our way up. As you can tell, this is, some meanderings and getting lost, and then they came all the way over here. We're all the way over here. People are like, where's the Where's the new content? I don't see it because they're like kind of zoomed in and like this is off the map and they're not following these folks. You always got to follow these little breadcrumb trails. All these little white dots. I always follow the little white dots. Over here, we got these setups. There's some great art in here. Everybody should go check it out. I'm gonna note here. These are very high. Like I think the base adventures are like level 500. Like maybe 500, 525. It's getting harder and harder up here in Icewind Dale to progress. These were a little challenging. This one wasn't as bad. This one I was like, what? And I don't even know. I mean, I did them both, but patrons? Things are getting more difficult. And I'm here for it. But let's talk Natural Time Gate Weekend. Natural Time Gate Weekend. So unlike manual time gates, which you got to spin those time gate pieces for, this weekend, like it says right here, free time gate weekend. Choose one of 3 free time gates to open. View available time gates. Go ahead and click that. Make sure you're out of an adventure, right? And you're going to be given 3 choices. These ones that with the very imperceptible free on them are the ones that you get to choose from. You get to pick one. That's it. You can't do one, complete it, come back and grab the others. No, you're given 3 free options. You can pick one of them. The way it kind of works, we've talked about this in a video. There's a video guide for that. There will soon be a written guide for that, as requested by the community. This little this we'll call this the first bucket. This is usually year 1 champions. The second one is year 2 champions, and then the third one is like everyone else currently, or at least the last I was updated on it. So, you're always kind of guaranteed to get one. If you don't have all the champions, you're guaranteed to get one below, that you don't have. Now, that year 1 guarantee, year 2 guarantees, these may be one of the ones that you don't have, or they might not. Maybe it gives you one of the newer ones that you don't have. They don't overlap that way. So it is always a kind of a roll of the dice to see which one you're going to get. And then these numbers that are in these little boxes here, 50 and 75, these are references to the adventures that you have to run inside them. So the goal levels that you have to reach to get your rewards for the first 2 adventures are 50 and 75. You'll also be given a variant to do, which we'll see here in a moment. And that variant could be any of the variants from their event. So there's usually 3 variants that each champion has for their event. Yeah, so you're going to get one of those 3. If you haven't done any of them, you'll get one at random. If you've done one already, you'll get one of the 2 you haven't done. And if you've done 2 already, you're guaranteed to get that one that you haven't done. They're very nice and forgiving about that. So yeah, I own everything, and they're all in epics. So my decision really is just based off item levels, and my cron's a little lackluster compared to these other 2. So we're going to go do a cron time gate, and it just reminds you. Level requirements: first adventure area 50, second adventure area 75. It hasn't determined which variant you're going to get yet, so it can't tell you that one, I guess. And then in we go. Boom. Now I can go see. See, here's the area 50. If you don't own the champion, it's going to show the champion as a reward here, but you'll get the champion and a gold chest for them. The next one is a gold chest for them, and then this third one over here, it's getting darker. This is my variant that I rolled. Ooh, 175. So I got the high one. It's either 75, 125, or 175. And then you have free plays if you want to gain favor. You know, that's up to you. The gate is open. The Natural Time Gate Weekend is open for 72 hours. Once you choose your time gate, that time gate then opens for 72 hours. So there is a situation where you could wait until right before the time gate weekend is about to close and then open the gate and still have 72 hours, 72 full hours to do your time gate. So yeah, so if you don't get to it right away on Fridays, you're still going to get your same 3 days. It's not a big deal. Let's hop in. And then we'll talk some more about other stuff once I get a formation set up. Do I have some save formations? Oh, I haven't done this in so long. I don't even have a speed formation saved. Oh no. Okay. We'll do it like this. We'll do it like that. We'll do it with a wiffle ball bat. Wait. That's going to get us DMCA'd. Alright, let's just do some of this action. And we'll go from there. So once you get in, obviously, you start out like normal. You start out with 0, like a new adventure. You start out with 0 favor, and you've got to earn it up. So, you know, just like a new campaign or starting an event, you start out with no favor. Do your best to get what you're going to get. Personally, because I know I have a lot of power in my count, I've already got lots of gold find in this adventure just because of my Modron core. What I like to do is run an hour of buffs. So I'll do giant strength, gold find, I'll do speed, and I'll do fire breath. And what we're actually going to, because this is on stream, well, no, you know what? We'll just leave it in an hour, and we'll see where we get. And then I can take that, with the fire breath one, lets me take my my mage hand off of click damage, and just put all my money into my champions, my champions. Do I have the right feed in for him? I do, okay. Cool, cool, cool. All right, now that this is set up, I've got about an hour to wait. So while we're killing some time, let's talk about the weekend buffs. It's an air assault weekend. I know some people are like, why are there 4 characters with wings and then there's Minsk and Boo? Well, Boo. Have you ever seen Minsk throw Boo? That's an air assault. That is definitely an air assault. So yeah, Orkira, Ashara, Minsk and Boo, Keelek, and Ariza. All getting buffs this weekend. Let me tell you, if you've got Ashara and Orkira, it's time to do a deep push. It's time to do a deep push, folks. And knock out some of those difficult variants, because we get elemental fire by 200%. Yes, please. All the bonds by 200%. Oh, yeah. Minsk's favorite enemy by 200%. Keelek's blessed by 200%. Ariza's flaming wings by 200%. It's definitely time to push. It's definitely time to push. What else we got going on? DLC retirement sale. Haboom. The only one I have that's currently, like, they're rotating different things in and out of the store. The only one I haven't bought yet, and I'm going to be buying it before this timer runs out, is the Arctic Fox Familiar Pack. Because sure, I'll take a potion of polish for less than $10. Yes, please. Plus all the potions that I actually want. Speed, giant strength, clairvoyance, fire breath, and a familiar. Yeah, sure. They also added Star Silk. Oh, wait. I should say that the other familiar on sale is Silgar, the Xanathar's goldfish, and it's like $2 US on sale, folks. $2. Anyway, Starsick the Chimeric Hair is new. They got added, so now there's like a pair of $5 familiars for people who are looking for those budget clickers. You got them right there. Oh, I didn't see what the sweetener was. Nope, that's my wild offer. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Spyglass of the Messenger Guild, Golden Epic. Damage all champions, 460%. Oh, yeah, that's neat. All right. For those Keelek fans out there. Let's go back and talk about my wild offer for a second. People get asked. I think there's now like a thread in the Discord in the tavern. They're using Discord's new thread features to have like a wild offer thread, so people can talk about like, hey, is this a good thing, without spamming chats and stuff, which is neat. And I think we've talked about this before. Wild offers, basically you're looking at like, what is the main thing that you're getting, which most people generally consider like the first card. Is it a familiar? Is it a golden epic? Is it a feat? Like what, a skin? What is it? And then they kind of just look at what they get out of the other things. So generally speaking, I do like $9.99 wild offers. The problem I have here is this is Briv's ultimate cooldown golden epic. This is the only golden epic for an ultimate cooldown in the game. But I've already capped my ultimate cooldown in Briv. So this would... all this would do for me would be to kick out a Potion of Polish. But the developers did say that they are moving forward with plans to do refunds on, you know, what other people refer to as wasted item levels up over the cap. We'll talk about what that looks like here in a moment. So I don't know, maybe that then makes golden epics for ultimate cooldowns viable? I don't know, I'm going to have to think about it before this runs out. I've got 8 hours to think about it. 8 hours to think about it. All right. So what does the cap mean? If we come down here and we look at my Briv's slot 6, this is what the golden epic would land on. So these are things you have to keep in mind, right? I would get a golden epic for an item that is already shiny. That's a bonus. Why is that a bonus? Well, because when the golden epic lands on a shiny, it refunds you a potion of polish, which means I could then I could do a random shiny across the rest of my champions that don't have shinies. So that's a big bonus. So that pack effectively comes with all the things that were shown in it, plus a potion of polish, because of this. Because this is already shiny. Now, because this is an epic and a shiny, it's well over its item cap. Its item cap as epic shiny would be at like 252 or 254. I always get that number mixed up. I'm just going to say 252 and haters going to hate. So I have roughly 140 item levels that aren't doing anything here. And this is what people are talking about when they're like they have wasted item levels on capped items, and they want that problem fixed. Well, because what they want the devs to do is either redistribute these out amongst the other 5 items, which is you know, that's a possibility, or like refund blacksmithing contracts. I don't know which way it's going to do. I have a feeling they're probably just going to redistribute across the other 5 items. But another 140 item levels redistributed across the other 5 items is nice. That's nice. It's really nice. So hopefully that happens. I think they were saying they're targeting like fall winter. Maybe it'll be part of the anniversary celebration that usually happens in the fall. I think they stated yesterday it's going to be like September, mid to late September. I can't remember the exact words. I need to get Human in here. I'm slacking. Okay, that's better. Who am I gonna... do I really... I don't know that the rest of this is super... We're probably fine with just throwing some multi-hitters in. Not overly worried about this formation. That should do it. So... yeah, so that got discussed. So we knocked out all of these up here. I can close all those boxes. Let me hit up some questions before we get into more on the announcement, because there's multiple things we need to talk about today. Can Rabbit, in the time gates and blacksmithing menus, why isn't there an option to sort champions alphabetically? I don't know. I'm not a developer. That's a great question for the Developer Insight stream, which is Thursday afternoons on this channel. Or for the Reddit Q&A, which is Thursday mornings on the Reddit. The Real Bunny Beast, you still need that banner over your buttons? I mean, they showed the button up there that exists, but you know. Immortals Patron's Mert requirement states must have 2,000 loot levels. What is a loot level? It's item levels. They didn't... they should have used a term that was familiar to everyone already in terms of item levels. Instead, they used loot levels, and everyone's been confused ever since. So yeah, it's these down here. So as you get duplicates of pieces of gear out of chests, it raises your item levels. You get item level bonuses for each duplicate. This is why, you know, opening lots of chests, if you don't get necessarily what you want, you still got power, because you still got item levels for your champions. And that's a good thing. Okay, now that I've got... oh, okay. There we go. Now that I've got all of these champions leveled up, I can finally save a speed formation. I'm actually on the topic of loot levels, item levels, whatever. I've started a new player account on the Epic Game Store, a new player account, and I think I just hit like I'm coming up on 1,500, so I'm getting real close to Mert. I'm also about to unlock Azaka. I'm going to do that Sunday on a stream on my channel. If anybody wants to see a new player account tackle Azaka, I'm going to do it with core champions plus Hitch, because Hitch is basically a core champion. If you don't have Hitch, folks, I do this every time. If you don't have Hitch, click up here on the menu or hit escape for the menu or whatever. Click on the newsletter, sign up for the newsletter, get free Hitch. Get hitched for free. Also, you'll also get these weekend chests that they're promoting, like with the weekend buff. You'll get one of those for free too. Famine Dragon, Gar, split the party's completed. Congrats. My time gates are Barrow, Lazaps, or Neris, and I have no clue what to choose. Well, have you completed split the party 1 and 2? Because split the party 2 is going to need 3 champs in each bench. So there's something for you to think about. But out of those, I like Lazaps. I like Lazaps as a tank option. But Neris is a good support option. I don't use Barrowin all the time. So you have 3 in all as well. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, I like having a shorty tank option, so I would go Lazaps. I think Lauren called Lazaps Lazapaz yesterday. Oh, you know, regional dialects and name mispronunciations. I was like, who? Mira, is there any way to see your formations without having to enter every single area? I want to see all my formations. No. Well, yes, technically, once you have a Modron core. Once you have a Modron core, you can see your save formations. You can come up here, you can click on this, and over here, you'll note, like, if I click here, it's going to show the formations for this adventure. But you notice there's a drop down here? You can go find every other thing that you have saved formations in here, and you could review them if you wanted. You can't change them or anything, but you could review them all. What's the chest below the time gate button? That's just a little present. It's just a little present. Onyx Squared, my choices are Paulton and Lazaps. Paulton's pretty great. Paulton's a pretty good option. I won't say pretty great. Paulton's a pretty good option in slot 4. Yeah. Lazaps I like as a tank. Like I said, as we just discussed, I like Lazaps as a tank swap. But yeah, I think either of those are good. By the way, what's a retirement sale? Who's retiring? The DLC are retiring. There are a number of DLC that are retiring. There's a blog post about it. You can find it linked in the Discord. It's probably posted on the Reddit still. But there's a handful of DLC that they're retiring, and it will eventually end up in wild offer pools, but they're making room to release new DLC. New DLC. Grama, Turiel, or Esmeralda? Ooh. General usage, Grama. Just know that Turiel and Esmeralda in their niche are also fantastic, but general usage, Grama. I think Grama will do you a lot of work for you for a long time. Talon or Neris on a free time gate? Ooh, either one. I would kind of, in my personal head, opinion, canon, whatever, I consider them probably equal. Talon may have a little more of an advantage just because they're in a lower bench slot. How long is the cooldown for repeat time gate visits? There isn't one. Tickled. There isn't one. Like, for natural time gates, there's only a natural time gate weekend every 3 weeks. So you only get this free time gate that we're doing right now every 3 weeks. It's always in between an event ending and an event starting. And events happen every 3 weeks. However, if you're doing manual time gates, if you're paying time gate pieces or pizza slices, however you want to refer to it, you can start, run, finish, complete, start, run, finish, complete over and over and over again. Now, keep in mind, if remember we were talking about those area requirement levels that are shown, like the 50 and the 75. Every time you do a time gate for that champion, the zone requirement goes up by 50. So I just did Kron's. The next time I go to, when I look at, when we out of this, when I look at Kron, it's going to say 100 and 125. Now, each time I don't choose Kron, it's going to drop by 25. So if you're looking to farm a single champion, it's going to get harder and harder and harder. Generally, I recommend finding a group of 3 champions that you want to deck out in gear, and you put them in a rotation one after the other, and then it's always 50 to 75. But it doesn't just drop over time. You have to do a time gate and not choose them. Dark Elf. I could choose between Baloth and Jim. I've never even heard about them. Which one should I choose? Baloth. Jim has his perks, but Baloth's better in my opinion, all around. Baloth, it gives you a swap for slot 4 that's much better overall for your group than Jarlaxle. When the event for the champion rolls around, will the variants still grant gold chest if you've already completed them on time gates? No, they won't even be available to you because you can only do variants once in this game. You can only do a variant once and then it's done. Patrons allow you to go back and do campaign variants again and with harder restrictions, but there currently isn't a patron for event variants. I'd like to nominate myself for that role. Yeah. Is it worth doing the free play after doing the champ and chest missions? It depends. So one thing I didn't mention on time gates, for every unique 100 levels. So right now I'm on 500, so I have passed 5 unique 100 level increments. For every unique increment of 100 levels, you get a silver chest, just automatically dropped into your loot pouch, your bag of holding. So, you know, if you don't think you got as far as you could easily, I say easily because this isn't something you want to grind over 72 hours trying to eke out one more silver. But if it's something that you think you can do easily, run a free play and go a little further. The way I do this, like as you're watching right now, is again I use like an hour worth of potions and I go as far as I can in that hour, and then I just reset. And then on the second one I do the same thing again because the base adventures don't have any restrictions, so I treat those as my free plays. And then I just do the variant and then I bail and I'm done with the time gate. I don't do anymore. The other thing you can get out of free plays is if you want to farm favor, you can. You get Meister's Favor. When you close your time gate, it forces conversion into the campaign of your choice, but it's not as nice as converting an event. An event grants you 10% per EO1, per order of magnitude of favor you've collected. A time gate only converts at 2.5%, so it's a quarter as powerful. So usually you're not pushing time gates to get a favor conversion, but yeah, there is one there. So, any clues on how to upgrade your items? Celeste is my only champion with 5 out of 6 epics. So use every single blacksmithing contract on her. How high can you upgrade items? Is there a maximum level? I expect 100, but one of my items just reached 101. Tigru 68. One away from a really nice name. It's almost like there's a theme today, folks. I kind of talked about this earlier. Celeste is a core champion. So she gets gear out of your regular silver and gold chests that you loot off bosses or you buy with gems. She also gets gear out of Electrum Chests and from some patrons, but it sounds, once you get that far, whatever patron she qualifies for. But basically, you just open chests. If you're hunting down that last epic, Blacksmithing contracts aren't going to do anything for you. What you want is to open gold chests. Gold chests drop epics, have a chance to drop epics. You're guaranteed one if you have bad luck, in at least every 10 chests. But again, those chests drop for the entire core and evergreen champion pool. So eventually you'll get full epic on Celeste. You just got to keep buying more gold chests. Now, the blacksmithing contracts you're pumping in, please don't. Please don't. It's fine that that's what you did, but blacksmithing contracts you want to save for your time gate and event champions, because those champions don't get gear out of those regular gold and silver chests that you get so many of. They get gear out of limited chests, like time gate, like running a time gate. They're named chests, or patrons, right? Like it's a more limited pool to get their epics. They can also get gear out of electrums, but it's you're just not going to get a lot of duplicates for time gates and event champions. So you want to keep those blacksmithing contracts and put those on those champions to get them higher item levels. And just let all those silver and gold chests that you're buying with gems give you duplicates and pump up the value of your core champions. As for a cap, slot 6, an item that says ultimate cooldown reduction will have a cap. And the cap depends on what color the item is and whether it's gilded, so shiny or golden. Otherwise, no cap. Just keeps going. Just keeps going. Xander or Warden? Warden. Hands down, Warden. Warden has a debuff that lingers. So you can put in Warden, you can stack that debuff, and then you can pull out Warden. I've got Melf, Caddy Bree, or Keelek. Who should I choose? Ooh, probably Melf. Melf is slot 12. If you're newer, you may not get them for this speed right away. But they are a speed champion. So they can get you speed eventually. You know what I'm going to do here? We're going to swap in Ashara. And just try to light up. Remember, I'm using Fire Breath Potion, so I just need to set a higher bud than what I have been doing. And I didn't really build. I don't really care. Just get a decent attack. Can we get an attack? No, not in set bud. Okay. Now maybe. See, we just did Gaarawarr's Guide to the Ashara meta last weekend. Okay, I'm missing one for Potpourri. That's the problem. How do we want to do this? How to do this? You know what? I'm going to take Ariza out. And we'll put Tyrlin, and that'll light up my life. Right? Yes. See, now they're dying instantly, folks. That's all it took. The power of the Ashara meta. Yeah. All right. But yeah, Melf is slot 12. They're going to be a good speed champion to add to your rotation eventually. If you just want a better buffer earlier than that, Caddy Bree's nice. If you don't have Freely yet, they're in the same slot. Freely's kind of best in slot there for support, but Caddy Bree is a fantastic second option. Regis or Neris? Regis. Sneedrock on different platforms, free time gate champions, different, right? Every person gets a different set of champions because, again, it's going to have year 1 champions, year 2 champions, and then everything else, and there's going to be one that's guaranteed that you don't have. And I mean, sure, you could end up with the same set of champions as somebody else, but generally speaking, it's tailoring it to you. It's rolling your stuff separate from everybody else. You have Melf, Birdsong, and Jim. If you're asking which I think, Melf, probably. Jim, second choice. What point do you personally close the time gate? Once I've gotten all 3 gold chests and whatever number of silver chests I think are easily within my grasp. I will try to... You know what? I'm not going to leave this running for a full hour. I will try to do that whole thing on this stream. We'll see what happens. So you can kind of see. But again, this is kind of a fast forward look because we're running speed champs and I've got a lot of power. I'm probably going further than most, but you have to adjust it for your own situation. Wise Turtles. I'm trying to push deeper in Descent into Avernus. That's good because we're going to talk about stuff that requires you finishing the adventures there. I've got all the blessings. Wow, that's a big deal. Would it be better to focus on Modron leveling or getting my final tier of Patron perks? I mean, you can do both at the same time. You can do both at the same time. I mean, you can just, you have your Modron in your active party, and you go do your patron variants to get that influence. Then you're being efficient and you're making progress in both. So porque no los dos. What are those scrolls you have in your inventory? I mean, I have blacksmithing contracts here. And I have blacksmithing contracts are here. I've got bounty contracts through here. I got that backwards. Yep. I'm sure there's nothing else that looks like a scroll in my inventory at all. I have Human, Regis, and Jim. I already own Human and Jim. Then get Regis. Whoa, who's the $2 familiar? That's the Xanathar's goldfish. So, generally referred to as Silgar, but in game I think they just called it Xanathar's goldfish. In fact, I can actually bring... It's the wrong button, Gaarawarr. One of these days, you're going to learn what the buttons do. Here. Let's bring the... there. That one. That one. As a new player, I have very few extra champions. Yeah. Using the basic ones, what would be a good formation for Descent into Avernus? Ooh. That's very difficult for me to do while I'm in a time gate. The Discord has a channel called #formations with information on how you can share your champion pool, and they can help you build out formations for things like that. I will say, though, if I remember off the top of my head, it's a 3-tank formation. And if you only have core champions, you've only got Tyrell and Nayeli as tanks. So you're going to have to find a tank. You're going to have to pick up another tank before you can head in there if you don't have one already. Yeah. You're going to have to get a third tank before you start doing Avernus. I see Archon as a tank. Flashing zeros. There's a reason I left Archon out of this conversation. Archon is a DPS that can be in the tank position. He is not a contributing tank to your formation. He does not provide group buffs. So if you are not building an Archon formation where he is your DPS in Avernus, then you may as well just not have anybody in that slot. The only thing he would contribute is whatever tiny amount of gold find you have on his gold find item. Period. So when you're building a formation out, unless he's contributing, maybe he's contributing to your Ashara bond. Okay, sure. That might be a little bonus. But unless he's doing something like that for you, he in and of himself is not supporting your formation. He's not a support champion. He also shares health. Okay. I'm just... You can give all the reasons you want, but he is not a... I don't consider him a tank. I consider him a DPS who can soak up some damage. So yeah, if you don't like that, you build your own formations. I don't know. That's why I told him to just go to the formations channel in the Discord. I don't like Archon in formations unless you're building him around him. If you don't have the champion yet for the Golden Epic that is in the deal this weekend, what happens? It gets stored in their collection. So it's just hidden away until you get that champion, and then it'll be in there, and then it'll be in their item slot for you. Strix, Artemis, or Neris for the free weekend. Oh, that's a rough combination. Gaarawarr's an Arcanist. Yeah. Oh man, if you're very new, Artemis is going to be confusing. Neris is going to be too deep to use. But Strix is a DPS. This is complicated. Whichever one gets you closer to split the party. So you've got to figure out, like, you need 2 champions in every slot. So if you don't have a second champion in any of those slots, then just pick one. Basically, Neris is going to be a support champion for you. Artemis and Strix are more DPS. You can use Strix as a support, but you can't use Artemis as one. So, yeah. Did you get an answer yesterday on the high cost of potions of specialization? No, I did not. So I will tune into the next developer insights and see if they answer my question at the beginning. Sometimes they go back and answer questions at the beginning that they didn't get to. Otherwise, I'll ask it again. Do potions tick down while you're offline? Yes. Do you have a YouTube channel? Would like to see the Gaarawarr VODs, but they're gone from Twitch. All the Gaarawarr VODs that was a long time ago. Those aren't on my YouTube channel. I am horrible about uploading VODs to my YouTube channel. I do have one. Gaarawarr on YouTube. But I think lately it's got our live play shows, like when we do Storyteller Mars Presents TTRPGs, those are there. And I think I've got the Dritz unlock that I just did the other day, and maybe a couple other things. Yeah. And you know what? That's 30 questions. I'm going to pause at 30 questions, and we're going to talk about other stuff. Because I know you've got a lot of questions, folks. I see them all in here. We've got over 60 in the document, so I will get to them, I promise. Maybe I'm about to answer some of them, because we're about to talk about something new. Something new and exciting. Habam. Prudence is coming to Idle Champions. Prudence is from the Ox Venture streams. She is going to be a more evil warlock. She looks pretty cool. She's going to be a DPS champion in slot 5, I believe. Yes, there we go. Slot 5. So swaps in when you need a DPS there. So Chaotic Evil Tiefling Warlock. Eligible for all the current patrons. So again, I know a lot of people are like, they got to compete against Briv and Keelek? Why aren't you talking about Calliope? Calliope OP. But yeah, because none of those are DPS. And if you need a DPS in slot 5, here you go. Here you go. Let's take a look. I have not looked at this at all so far. I just knew the basics. So let's just take a quick glance through. Keep in mind, no idea how Prudence is going to play out. We don't know any of the scaling as you upgrade her. So until you see that, it doesn't. None of this matters. I mean, you can look at it and you can see what their functions, and you can kind of theorycraft around it, but you don't know how strong it's going to be, is what I'm trying to say. Eldritch Blast. Imagine that, a warlock with an Eldritch Blast basic attack. Yeah, we got another one of those. Formation abilities: Glee, Delight, Resolve, and Frustration. I like the theme already. Glee. Prudence gains 1 stack of Glee each time she kills an enemy. For each stack of Glee, her damage increased by 10%, stacking additively and capping at 10 stacks. So not like Zorbu or Black Viper or anything. Glee has a 25% chance to lose 1 stack whenever a champion other than Prudence gets a kill. So, I mean, so your stacks are going to fluctuate. What this means is your stacks are going to fluctuate until you get to the point where you're towards your wall and she's all that's killing. Otherwise, they're not going to lose it. They're not going to lose a stack. The fact that it's increased by 10%, stacking additively and capping at 10 stacks tells me this is probably supported by an item. I'm going to scroll down and look. Glee? It is not. Wow. Oh, yes. The slot 2 item. Glee. So yeah, there you go. So that'll get boosted with, this will get boosted with item levels. Delight. Increase the damage bonus of Prudence's Glee ability by 100% for each good aligned champion in the formation, stacking additively and then applying multiplicatively. Interesting. So you want good champions in the formation with the evil DPS. And it boosts Glee, so that just feeds into Glee some more. So Glee seems to be the core. But there is also a Delight item. So yeah, everything... Wow. So all of this is just boosting Glee. If it all feeds into Glee, then this is like the core item you want, but then all of these it makes all of this even better. Those kind of champions end up being a little strong. Averin, I'm looking at you. Resolve. Increase the max stats of Prudence's Glee by 10 for each non-good champion in the formation. Okay, so there you go. You can either boost the damage straight up, or you can boost the damage via stacks based off the alignment of the other champions in the formation. Interesting. I feel like I'd want to mix. I want some stacks maybe, and I guess it's just going to depend on what this looks like. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right, Frustration. Oh, is there a Resolve? No, Frustration. Okay, so this last ability is what gets an item. Every time Prudence attacks an enemy but does not kill it, she gains a stack of Frustration. That makes sense. Frustration stacks increase their damage by 200%, stacking multiplicatively. The maximum number of Frustration stacks is equal to the number of champions adjacent to Prudence. So yeah, Prudence is going to be a formation layout specific champion, because you really want her in something like Sword Coast, where you can surround her by 6, right? Because these stack multiplicatively. Stacks are reduced by 1 each time she gets a kill. So she's going to build up, ramp up, ramp up, ramp up, set a high bud, kill, and then start ramping down. But then ramp back up again if she can't kill. So, yeah. All right. Specializations, Eldritch Torrent. When Prudence attacks, there's a 50% chance that her base attack cooldown will be immediately reset. So wave clear. Because I think yeah, this is a single target champion, the way this reads. Unless she gets multiple attacks as she levels up. Again, some champions get that. Some champions could get extra attacks as they level up. I don't know if she does or not. This is why it's hard to say how she's going to be. She hungers. When Prudence attacks, there's a 5% chance that her ultimate attack cooldown will be immediately reset. Okay. Let's look at her ultimate attack. Hold on. Hunger of Hadar. Yeah. Prudence opens the gateway to the dark between the stars, a region infested with unknown horrors, an area of blackness and bitter cold appears on the ground between melee range and ranged range of enemies. Tentacles erupt out of it, pulling all enemies together. Codename Entertainment has gone green, folks. They've recycled their first ultimate. This is Warden's ultimate. So they put Warden's ultimate on another. I mean, it makes sense. Warlock, right? If they have the same patron, sure. But yeah, so we have this movement thing has been done before. I mean, this exact thing has been done before, so we know how this works. So basically, you get lots of crowd control with She Hungers, or you get lots of attacks with Eldritch Torrent. So self-damage. I love this book. Look at this book, Mimic. With the tongue coming out. That's fantastic. That's great. Tell me this is going to be a familiar. Chomping Book Mimic familiar. Self-damage, the 3 supporting things, and then ultimate and ultimate cooldown. So, yeah. Prince will arrive with a Garen's Day coming Wednesday. Yeah, I feel like you're going to go with the one that lets her attack more often in terms of specializations, just so that you can wave clear. I mean, sure, you might use like if you're using her as DPS, you'd probably be using Krull as support in slot 6. So Krull's going to give you some AoE with Traitor, but still, attack more often with that first specialization. We're walling out a bit here, folks. I cleared 700, so this is kind of a good time. I could put a different formation in. I have reached soft cap on a 0 favor run, but I don't really care about going much further on this run. The reason being, I didn't have any favor. I'm working off no bonuses. It took a while to get there. I'm going to be able to get there faster and potentially, push just as far, but and and maybe even a little further, but get there a lot faster by just going ahead and going into my second adventure. And loading in my save formation. And away we go. And away we go. And then I do the same thing. I do this. Go away. Go away. That should have saved. Oh, I know why it didn't save. I know why it didn't save. I didn't load this formation into my Modron. Because I'm a Modron. Stop it. Go away. There we go. There we go. All right. Now they should all do their thing. Nope, they still didn't do their thing. I hate you all. Why are you doing this to me? Why do you hate me like this? Yeah, okay. This is the problem. It didn't load up correctly. Okay, there we go. Now, there we go. God, why you gotta do this to me? Why you gotta do this to me? All right, so we're gonna do the same potions as before. Speed and fire breath, and we'll just let it do its zoomy zoom thing. See how far it gets. We'll see how far it gets. All right. Back to questions or talk about... I think we're going to do some more questions, and we'll talk about the other big, massive info dump. I'm not saying that Prudence was a massive info dump. I'm just saying that there was a massive info dump. Listen, Noah, started a few days ago. Do chests start coming faster at some point? Gaarawarr seems to have thousands of potions. Is that just from cash stuff? No. Yeah, you're a brand new player, so things are slower for you. You're not going to be able to push as far. You don't have speed champions or Modron cores that go fast, or it's just, yeah, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. Yeah. I don't know what else to tell you, but you don't start out with all the power in the world unless you throw cash at the game. Why do I have thousands of potions? I run lots and lots of... I'm at the point where I've completed all the basic content in the game. All that I have really left to do is patron level content, which probably doesn't mean anything to you, but it's basically like harder versions of the content with more restrictions and limited champion pools. So, harder challenges. So when I'm not doing those, I basically just farm gems, which I set up a speed formation. Again, this is probably stuff that, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you yet if you're brand new, but eventually it will. I set up a speed formation, and I just make as many gems as I can, and then I spin those gems on chests, and then I open all those chests. Now, whether I use up all of those potions or not, I might not necessarily need to, so I don't. So they just start stacking up. Now, keep in mind, I've been playing the game now almost 4 years. We're coming up on the 4th anniversary of Idle Champions. So, yeah, there's a lot of potions around. If you'll note, I do run out of the ones that I use the most of. I think like my speed champions are probably the lower. My speed potions are probably the lowest. Graydon. My free time gate offers me Melf, Birdsong, and Warden, all of which would be new. Warden will let me do Split the Party too. Yeah, do that. Though I was going to do a manual time gate for Averin before this offer happened. Ooh. If you're going to do a manual time gate for Averin, which I think is a great idea, because Averin's fantastic, then I would pick Melf. So use your free time gate to get Melf, and then run a manual time gate to get Averin. That's probably the better all-around choice. Big Jake getting Stokey today. She has the gold tag. How good is she for gold? She's okay. I mean, so Jarlaxle is the best in slot for gold usually. But he isn't a support, so you trade a little bit of gold for some support on Stokey's part, and then you can actually have that extra champion in to push further while still making gold, and end up making more gold in the process because you actually have some party support there. Beverin, I only have 3 formation save slots. Can you get more? Not currently. The keyboard, if you look down here, there's an H at the very bottom right, and there's all these hotkeys. And if you try to map those out around, Q, W, E are the save formation slots. It's pretty busy around those three. So adding in more, I don't know exactly how they do it. They could try, I'm sure, but it wouldn't just be straightforward, I don't think. Hey, Mars is raiding. Get that guy out of here. No. Welcome, Mars. I hope your stream went well. Let's see. Avron, Cathris, or Xander? Avron. Strongest support buffer in the game. What's a natural time gate? Can everyone open one? Yes. Natural means it just happens automatically. It opens itself every 3 weeks. Manual ones are ones you force open by spending the time gate pieces on. Time gate pieces are currency you accrue slowly, about 1 every 5 days, unless you have patrons or you're buying stuff out of the store. Lazaps, Neris, or Ishi. Lazaps or Neris. Like I said, I like Lazaps as a shorty tank option because I like to go short folk bond on a Char, and sometimes I need a shorty take option. Where was that formation menu you showed? That was in the Modrons. So if you can either click on this Modron button up here, or you can click on it down here, and then when you go into the automation part, where it says set formation, that's down here at the bottom left. There's an entire menu there. Now keep in mind, if I go in here and I mess around with this, and I switch it to Tomb of Annihilation, when I reset, it isn't going to take me to Tomb. I'm just saying when I'm next at Tomb, I want to go here. I am still in this time gate, the Trickster's Delight time gate. Grama or Cathris? Grama. Hands down. It's common knowledge that Human's alt also is based on who's on the top. Yes, it should be. If not, you need to read up on the characters because it's always based. Yeah, some of these things you have to read in the champion spotlight because they put information in the champion spotlight that isn't always readily accessible in game. Like, I can't just go look at... sorry, Silgar, I'm going to move you. If I hover over here, it says, the Cobalt's Pepper, a random enemy with Bolton's ranks teamwork is doubled for 30 seconds. There's nothing here that tells me, or here that tells me that this is going to change when I move them around. But it tells you that in the champion spotlight. Now, if I roll them back a bit, now I've got a different thing. I've got stop. Right? Whereas before it was roll out, right? So I'm getting different ultimates, and if I go all the way in the back, I've got faster, right? So yeah, it's a different ultimate for Human depending on where you have them placed in the formation, and thus who's on top. Ayla, Ishi, or Morgaine? Ayla. Ayla's my pick for best tank in the game currently. Is there any reason to buy silver chests instead of gold? Target number 4. When you're new, you can buy 10 silver chests to 1 gold chest. And when you're new, you don't have any gear. So having just even whites in slots is better than having none. And because gear drops randomly, it just ends up peppering and spreading out some power so that you have it a little bit faster, at least some power a little bit faster, instead of potentially dropping that epic on something that doesn't help you at all, that you saved up for with that gold chest. As you get better gear, I tend to go gold chests. You get more things that you like out of gold chests because gold chests include feats for champions. You get the epic contracts. You get epic potions and epic gear. Those all tend to be better. People who are full epic. And don't really care so much about the epics, contracts, and potions and stuff, will sometimes just buy thousands of silvers to try to get shinies. They go shiny fishing because it's a 1 in 1,000 chance to get a shiny upgrade out of any chest that drops gear. But there's no pity timer for that. Also, silvers. People have done the math, and I'll trust them on it. because I don't want to do it. Silvers is supposed to give you just slightly more item levels. To me, it's not worth it. I would just rather have golds. But, you know, you make your own decisions based off that information. Omen, Rack, or Warden. Yes, Omen is in the next event weekend, but so I would leave Omen out because literally it's like 4 days from now or 5 days or whatever. So Narak and Warden, both are useful. Narak is used a lot for Gith's Eye Focus to buff certain people for certain things, like Orkira stacking. If you have Orkira, Narak's going to be a big deal. Azaka farming, if you have Azaka and you farm with Dritz and Brunor in your formation, Narak can be... Narak helps boost that gold. Warden, though, does have that lingering debuff if you want to try to push further. So figure out what you're looking for. Binwin, Rosie, or Freely? Oh, you already have Freely. I was going to say Freely. Oh my god, Freely. You already have Freely. Rosie would be third champ in her slot. Then, yeah, Fastlane 20. I would go third champ in your slot for Split the Party 2. I don't know that you'll use Rosie a lot. Rosie's one of the only champions I will say is just not great. Just really not great. Bottom tier DPS. Can Rabbit in the mission where hunters take a spot every 50 levels on the hunt. The goal is 225, but I'm having trouble finding a combo of 4 champions that get past 200. That's because you're not looking. You're not looking for a combo of 4. I guess we haven't talked about this in a while. But the way you get past variants, where you lose slots the further you go. So in this one, every 50 levels, you lose a formation slot, one at a time. So eventually you're whittled down to, as they said, 4 champions. What you do is you push as far as you can, then you drop back to level 1. You can shift-click on this little arrow up here, and it'll take you all the way back to level 1. Go to level 1, remove all your familiars, have your champions all leveled up, build a full formation, get the most power you can, set the highest bud possible, save that formation to a formation slot, turn auto progress back on, put your familiars in, pop a fire breath potion, and kill everything with your bud. This is called bud spiking. This is the purpose. This is what bud spiking is best used for. If you're bud spiking on a general run, that doesn't really mean anything. To me, bud spiking is, again, just to me, is when you're doing these kind of scenarios where the variant removes champions from your formation, but you can drop back to a previous level, use more champions, set a high buff, then roll forward and just let your familiars wreak death and destruction on your enemies. What of the free champion signs are best for new player? Barrowin, Farida, or Celise? I'm going to say Farida. I think for a newer player, Farida's probably going to be a good DPS option for you when you can't use Ashara. Yeah. Celise is really deep. Celise is all the way down here at 12. For a new player, that's not the greatest. And Barrowin's... you have to have, the right formation for Barrowin, I feel like. Narrowin, Avrin, Cathris, or Xander? Avrin. If Avrin is one of your options and you don't have Avrin yet, get Avrin. I got Freely in my time gate. Great. Can I farm Freely chests like an event, or are they limited? No, they're limited. You get those 3 gold chests that they show you, and then, again, you can do silvers for every 100 levels. So if I come over here and I look, you'll see I've got 7 silver crons, because remember, we cleared 700, and the 1 gold is from completing that one first adventure. Avrin will be in an event soon, right? Avrin is not in the next event, and that's all that really matters right now. If you can get Avrin right now, get Avrin right now. Because it's going to be 3.5 weeks to the next event, and in that time, you can do so much with Avrin. So much. Don't only base what the upcoming champions that you're getting on like if you're trying to plan out your split the party stuff, or if they're coming in the very next event. If it's 2 events away, just get them now. Like if it's if it's a major power champion like Avon, just get them and use them. Strix Lucian. Oh yeah, Lucian. I'm like Lucian or Turiel. I would say Turiel as a tank, anti-tank option. Turiel goes in the front line, but doesn't tank. Directs, like just kind of waves people off to other tanks, and is great in Avernus. What's your highest geared character and highest geared core character? I mean, it's going to be the same. You're probably the same. Super Fluffy Kitty, and I have no idea. Hold on. Let's go. Okay. 2006, 2126. Who's got the highest average? It's probably going to be on that. 2078. It's going Celeste so far. Oh, my contacts are drying out. Blink. Gaarawarr, blink. 2065, 2000. 53, 64. It's looking like Celeste. So, let's go look. 2624. That seems like that would probably... 2782. Okay. Yeah. So probably 2782. Now, how do I find out if that is my highest? Like, that's my highest average champion. But I can find out if that's... Oops, wait. Oh, they put it under this stupid button over here. All right. It's not stupid. I just forget that it's over there. Achievements. Yeah, 2782. So Celeste has my highest piece of gear and is my highest average item level champion. I already have Sentry and Zorbu from my 3rd for this gate. I got Jim. Should I get him? Yes. What's the best core in DPS? I'm not sure. I feel like what's the best DPS in core champions is what you're asking, and it's Ashara. Ashara is currently the best DPS in the game. With the right formation. But yeah, Ashara is currently the best DPS in the game. And you get her as a core champion. Do Patron or perks apply to all campaigns? The global ones do. Yes. So the ones that are off here on the right hand side that say global apply everywhere. Campaigns, time gates, events, split the party, some other thing that's coming in the future. Been working to send into Avernus, but I'm having trouble figuring out an Ashara formation for it. How would you balance maxing out spellcasters for Orcoria's Bulf when dealing with 3 tank formations? I wouldn't. But that's just me, Eastavac. I don't... generally, I have tested out, for me, Orcoria does not help my Ashara formation. I push further without Orcoria. We tested this out on stream and I was doing okay, but then I swapped back later when I walled and pushed further without Orcoria. So I don't use Orcoria for my Ashara formations. So I would, I would find some other way to make that work. Pritamnidra. I'm a 2-week-old player and I got the I think I've been playing for 2 weeks. And I got the 175 variant for Talon. I'm very limited in my choices. What favor level do I need for it? 175 is going to need like at least E08 favor. If you don't know what E is, it's scientific notation. Go ahead and press Y if you're on a PC, and it'll switch your game over to scientific notation. Otherwise, it's under an option under the settings. But it basically means the decimal place gets moved 8 spaces over. What's E going to be in my 100 million? 100 million. At least. So, yeah. So, when you get those 175 variants, that means you're going to have to push, if you're newer, to try to get that favor to make that light up, to make that be easy. When is the weekly reset for patron shops? Mondays at noon Pacifically. So, CNE time. This is more about manual time gates than natural, but I have the speed champs and most of the meta picks. Do you think I should focus on retired champs for time gates? Biohazard, I think you should. I don't think people should care about retired champions. I know there's a lot of players that think I'm ignorant for saying that, but that's fine. That's fine. This is my opinion. I don't think you should worry about who's retired or not when making a decision. I think what you need to make a decision about is who is going to help you complete content. Who's going to help you complete content? That may be a retired champion. That may be like Grama or Zorbu. But it may not be. It may be someone whose event is still in rotation. The point is, if they're not coming up in 4 or 5 days, the time gate's there to help you get them so they can help you right now. Right now. So yeah. I don't worry. I wouldn't worry about whether they're retired or not. Just focus on who's going to help you with, who's going to flesh out your patron bench. If you're having trouble in certain patrons, go check. There's some great fan sites out there that'll let you check to see, who qualifies for each patron, and then figure out which ones of those are strong that you don't have yet and pick them up. Kyozito, Barrow and Alindra or Rosie? Alindra. Well, if you've got Avrin, Alindra. If you don't, Barrowan. Ishi, Havilar, or Walnut, Havilar. Do we already have a guide to bud spiking? I may have talked about it in my Bud 101 post. I may not have. Somebody may have made one. There's probably one on the subreddit. You have to check the resources channel. Yeah. So somebody asking, am I reading chat? Yes and no. I do have chat up, but I'm reading off a questions list that everybody's been asking questions this entire show. So for, over an hour now, and they're going up here. I've answered 52 of the questions already that have been pulled out of chat. Obviously, that's not cut up to... Oh, geez. That's not cut up to current because there's currently 92! I thought I was doing good. Okay, then. Oh, Creef says bud spiking explained in the difficult Mert variance video on Gaarawarr's channel. It's on the difficult Mert variance is going to be on the CNE Games YouTube channel. In the Gaarawarr's Guide one, not Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything. There's 2 different playlists. One is Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything, which is this show, and then there's Gaarawarr's Guide, and that's the tutorial show. So the difficult Mert variance will be under that. Okay, 92. All right, I still got information I want to talk about. Let me answer a nice number of questions, and then we'll stop and talk about the info drop yesterday. Mesa Duval, I already have Sentry and Zorbu for my 3rd gate. I got Jim. Oh, I answered that one already. I have answered more of these than I thought. Hold on. I'm further down this list than I thought. There we go. I'm on 63. Hey, Artemis, Binwin, or Paulton? Paulton. Strebla, does every 100 levels earn a silver chest reset each time you run a time gate? Yes, when you close the time gate and then open it again, it resets everything. Yayami, I just unlocked the speed core yesterday. Congrats! I'm able to soft cap at E70 gold. I have Narak, Esmeralda, and Neris in my time gate. I'm thinking about Narak for debuff formations. Yeah, I mean, for Orkira stacking, absolutely. If you have Orkira, Narak is great. Again, if you already have a Zaka, which it sounds like you probably do because you just got your speed core, you probably got a Zaka. Narak will help there. Esmeralda is a great second choice because Esmeralda is a great... Esmeralda can basically be used like with Ashara and other multi-hit champions to turn your DPS into a bit of a chainsaw. I did not save the Ashara formation I built. Bad Gaarawarr. Okay, let's push a little further with this. Okay. So yeah, I think I think your thinking on that is correct. Narak will help your like Orkira debuffs and stuff. I have Cthulhu and Zorbu as free time gates, but I'm also preparing to unlock Alcoria. Is Cthulhu useful for the Gargoyle mission? Ooh. No, he's slot 1. I'm thinking Paulton. He's a magic caster, so yeah, but if you already have... It depends. If you have Orkira in slot 1, that's who you'd go with. If you don't have Orkira and you've been given Cthulhu and a time gate, then you go with... Then you would take Cthulhu, and Cthulhu would help you because he's magic. He's a base attack magic champion. And that's what you need for the Gargoyle. For my second ever time gate, should I get Barwin or Paulton? Paulton. Guy Spy, Stokey or Black Viper for my time gate. Oh, I love me some Black Viper, but I'm going to say Stokey. Sneejock coming in with a nice question. Can you explain how Briv's speed works? Yeah, and then we're gonna talk about this, and then we're going to go into all of the information that was shared yesterday. Briv's a bouncy boy. Briv's speed ability is Unnatural Haste. So I'm going to read it and then we'll talk about it. Briv has a chance of sprinting forward quickly on steel springs after completing a new area. This action consumes 4% of his sprint stacks and requires that you have at least 50 stacks for it to happen. When you reset the adventure, all stacks of steel bones that Briv had gained convert into stacks of sprint. Unused sprint stacks persist through resets. So, Briv functions off of his very first ability, Steel Bones, where when you are hit by an enemy, or you take damage, you gain these stacks. On that run, on your very first run with Briv, he has no haste, because he requires you to build up these stacks and then complete your run, so that on your next run you will have haste stacks. If I come over here, like right now I have no Steelbone stacks because I've been killing with Fire Breath, right? So I go to my haste stacks. I've got, we had some jumps. I had some over this. But because I'm now below 50, he's never going to jump again. So based off whether you have stacks or not is what will, that's the first trigger. Do you have over 50 stacks of sprint? If the answer is no, Briv is not a speed champion. If the answer is yes, Briv is a speed champion who will skip the next area on the trigger. Like he'll have a chance here. It'll say Briv has a blank % chance to skip the next area. Now, the number of areas he skips can be altered. If you'll notice, mine says 2 areas. Some people say 4. Some say 7. And I've chosen a specialization that reduces the percent. Remember, I said 4% before. Reduces it to 3.2%, so it lets you jump more times with the same amount of stacks. So basically, you have to push deep with Briv, stack up a bunch of his stacks. 1,500, 2,000. It doesn't take a lot because remember they're being removed by a percentage, not a flat number. And percentages reduce effectively at a similar rate, and it's not as big of a deal to. You can get some more jumps if you go further, but ultimately you don't need a ton. And then you can affect how far he jumps, like how far, how many areas you skip, based off his slot 4 item. This is what everybody wants who uses Briv speed. They want this golden Theodinarax, because this modifies his unnatural haste ability. And then you pump tons of levels. Briv is one of those bottomless pits of blacksmithing contracts. Human and Briv. Melf too, technically, but Human and Briv are the kind of priorities. The more contracts you bump in, the more chance this item gets leveled up, and then the further you skip. So a lot of people like to get to like 99 or 100% chance to skip. I think 100's better. 100 and above now with the way this works. And then you're guaranteed every time you'll skip. So when this was skipping, we were skipping 2 areas. I skipped 37 times basically because we had 74 areas skipped, right? That's how Briv works as a speed champion. Oh, we just got rolled by this guy. Yeah, this guy's the I hit you once you die champion. I hit you once you die. Game over. There we go. There we go. Can I get to... Here's the thing. Can I get to 800? So this is my challenge. Do I want to go to 800 and get one more silver? Maybe. All right, we'll try it. We'll try it. We'll see. We'll see how well this works. We're going to go ahead. We're going to go magic for Regis. There we go. We're going to move this. We're going to get rid of Birdsong. Who do I want to get rid of Birdsong for, though? Baloth? Sure. Sure. Let's do this type of scenario. Let's do this type of scenario. Come on, Baloth. Just get me there. Okay. And, oh, we probably want to get rid of Melf. How am I doing on my bonds? I should have 3 and 3. I got 3 and 4. I'm doing good. Oh, yeah, we're going to want Avron. Who do I want instead of Melf? I want Avron. That's who. I want Avron. And Avron goes neutral. Again, if we're building out an Ashara pushing formation, we just did I did a whole guide to that last Saturday. You can find it on the VODs on this channel. I do not know when those VODs get uploaded to YouTube. I know I've been getting messages from people, so I'm just going to tell you right now, that's not my control. That's CNE's choice on when they upload those VODs. So if there's a VOD you're looking for that is no longer on the Twitch, message them. Oh, Lojack's saying it's up on YouTube already. Apparently they wanted that one up quick then. I don't know. I know people have been messaging me for other guides that are not, that haven't been up there, and I don't know. I don't know. All right. This formation should let us push a little further. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some more speed on here, just because. Just because. And we're going to talk about everything that was talked about yesterday. Oh yeah, Briv doesn't. So when Briv jumps a boss, I forgot to bring this up. When Briv jumps a boss, specifically a boss, you still get the boss bag and everything that came in it. So that includes any chests that might have dropped in the boss, any gems that are in the boss, any red gems for Black Viper, any whatever Nova's things are. You still get that. What you don't get when Briv jumps levels is credit for completing those levels, because you didn't. You skipped them. And credit for killing any of those enemies, because you didn't. You skipped them. So you just get credit for having passed a boss level, which is the boss bag itself. That is the downside, literally the only downside of using Briv. So yesterday on the Epic Idle Champions special, and when I say epic, I mean both grandiose and on the Epic Games Twitch channel, the devs dropped all the event champions, at least hints about all the event champions for the rest of this year. They dropped the name and information for the upcoming asynchronous co-op multiplayer system called Trials of Mount Tiamat. And gave a little bit of information on the new Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign that's going to be coming later this year. That is the new campaign book from Dungeons & Dragons. And every time they release one of those major campaign books, we get it in the game as a campaign. That's where Tomb of Annihilation, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, and Icewind Dale Realm the Frostmaiden came with. And then some extra information. So there's a wonderful person called Dan on the Reddit. The Dan SSJB posted a nice big compilation. I'm just going to use that because my memory is good, but there was so much information yesterday, folks. Disclaimer, Trials of Mount Tiamat is in player beta, closed player beta. I'm hiding things on my screen because I think you all know I'm in the player beta. What I'm talking about is not leaked information from the player beta. This is stuff that was made public, so I'm not spoiling anything. This is everything that was discussed yesterday. I won't be talking about things that have not been discussed. So we already know for a Garen's Day, which is the next event, we're getting Prudence. But for Bright Swords, which is the event after that, and Bright Swords is the final event for year 4. That is the final event for year 4. High Harvest Tide is next. High Harvest Tide was the first event ever, and that will start the year 5 event cycle. So Bright Swords, the champion is going to be Corazon de Bayern, Human Rogue Support, slot 8 from the Oxventures Guild as well. So 2 Oxventures Guild champions in a row. So when year 5 starts, our first year 5 champion with High Harvest Tide will be Dahani, the Aarakocra Monk from Rivals of Waterdeep. So we're getting another Rivals of Waterdeep cast member. There'll be a slot 1 DPS Gold Find champion. And they said this one features very much in their painterly aspect, where they'll be using like paintbrush darts. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I think if you watch my channel, you know I used to play a game called Dawngate. They had in Dawngate, it was like a MOBA. It was a MOBA. They had a champion that was a painter champion and carried a gigantic paintbrush and splashed colors all over the place, and it was fantastic. I don't know what they're going to do here, but I hope it entails something like that. Liar's Night. No name, but we do know that the champion will be created with the help of Jason Charles Miller from Bardic Inspiration. So Liar's Night, supposedly all they revealed is it's going to be a human. I'm crossing my fingers for basically just make Jason Charles Miller a human bard in the game. But who knows? Feast of the Moon. We are going to finally see the final Heroes of the Plane character. They haven't given a name. I think we can guess. I've got a whittle idea. But it's Megan Kenrick's, one of Megan Kenrick's characters from Heroes of the Plains. Simril. We know that the champion is going to be a Hernagon, which is, these are rabbit folk. Simril's are going to be, that's going to be right around probably just after or alongside the release of the Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign, and those characters feature in that. And then Winter Shield, the final event of the year, or the start. I can't remember if it's the final event this year or the start of 2022. I'd have to look at the timeline. The character will be from the Baldur's Gate video game. That's what we know. But this is more information than we've ever been given, folks, in advance for event champions. That never happens. That never happens. So this was a huge info drop. Huge. Now, the multiplayer feature, again, I talked about it. This is asynchronous cooperative multiplayer. So this is not PvP, folks. And this is not going on a raid. You're not going to have to coordinate with your group at a specific time to get together and defeat a boss. This is asynchronous co-op. So you set your stuff up, and it all creates contribution towards an overall goal. This is Trials of Mount Tiamat. Effectively, a spoiler alert, earmuffs for those of you in chat who don't want to know how this happened. I'll give you a second. Okay, and don't read closed captioning either. At the end of Descent into Avernus, Tiamat gets released into the world. This is the Idle Champions canon. And Trials of Mount Tiamat is, she's out in the world, and now you have to hunt her down. The champions have to find her and try to get her back into Avernus. Okay, you can uncover your ears now and start reading chat again. I don't know how you'll know this. Maybe somebody in chat will let you know. So it's a week-long kind of campaign, like mini campaign, where up to 5 players work together to complete the goal. They stated you choose a kind of a I don't know, what's the best way to put this? Kind of your frontline assault champion, we'll say, that's going to represent your team and you and as a player against Tiamat in these trials, and they are They are off doing that business all week and contributing to what's going on based off what champion they are and what kind of what bonuses they provide for the trials. You then still have to go in each day and complete an adventure with kind of variant restrictions every day until you bring down Tiamat. Hopefully, if you don't bring down Tiamat over the course of the week, womp, womp, womp. But you still get rewards because you get rewards based off your progress in defeating her. But you want to bring her down to get the maximum rewards. It is not required that you play with other people. You can just throw one person in. However, there are 10 different levels of difficulty. And the higher you go, the more rewards you get. But they're as far as they've released so far, they're the same rewards. It's just you could get more of them for doing the harder levels. So you can slowly still progress the same way on your own at a lower difficulty level potentially. If you can, well, you definitely can. It's just you would have slower progress. The reward for this, legendary loot. So they've said that you will earn dragon scales that can be used to forge legendary equipment upgrades for your champion. Now this isn't gilding. This is rarity level. It's my understanding. So like you have white, green, blue, purple. This would be legendary above that, right? Above the epics. What else? You will have to have completed just the basic storyline of Descent into Avernus to play this. You will have to have gone through in that adventure. These are just the basic adventures, not all the variants. You don't have to do all the variants. Just the basic adventures to unlock Trials of Mount Tiamat. This is in-game content, so it is scaled that way. It is difficult. What else am I missing here? Oh, it's cross-platform. It's cross-platform, folks. Now, there is no cross-platform sharing of account information. But if you want to group up with people that play on separate platforms, you can. If you've got 5 accounts on 5 different platforms, you can do a run on your own. That's a lot. That's a lot, folks. But you could, if you want to. You can join groups either by, I think they said there's like a public, visible groups that you could just join. There's also private groups, where basically that group can create a code and then share it with people and then you can just join that private group. So you can set this, if you just want to play with certain people, you can set it as private and then invite those people. If you're open to playing with anyone, you can just go into a public group. It's up to you. And of course there will be, lots of different icons and things that come with this, as we've already said. No information on the actual legendary upgrade system was shared. Once you finish Descent into Avernus, basically it'll be like Split the Party, where then you will be able to do an adventure that you have to complete to unlock Trials of Mount Tiamat. So there will be a challenging adventure? I don't know. I don't know if it's like Split the Party level challenging or not. Yeah, so Trials of Mount Tiamat coming soon to Idle Champions. I don't think they said when. But I mean, they've talked publicly that they were trying to release it in time for the summer celebration and didn't happen. So one could assume they're trying to release it with the anniversary celebration or near to it. Again, that's September. So the new campaign, though, Wild Beyond the Witchlight, also targeted for a September release. They shared like a skin for Delana who had like Feywild butterfly wings. Just trolling us, trying to get us to use Delana. And the storyline, the beginning storyline, features Sergeant Knox and the street urchins from Waterdeep Dragon Heist, Nat Jinx and Squiddy, I believe are their names. And they're basically telling Sergeant Knox the stories of what happened to them. And they're not entirely accurate because they're kids. Apparently there's going to be like Xanathar is going to be like dressed up as a clown. Yeah. So, you know. They also talked about how potentially the campaign will, you know, that when it arrives it'll at least have tier 1 blessings. And that we should be getting I think we've seen teasers in game. We should be getting more blessing tiers soon across all campaigns. But that's like, they didn't really give it, I don't think they gave a date for that. Fall winter is the last I heard them say an estimate for more blessings. I think I'm dying. Am I dying over here? I got to 847. All right, I'm going to reset here. 847 is good enough. That got me one more silver, but I don't want to try to push to 900. Or one more silver. Now I'm just going to grab this last gold by getting to 175. Super quick. Super quick with a speed formation. Yeah, give me... I don't think it's going to take an hour, but yeah, we'll say hours of things, and that'll race through. What else did they say yesterday? I know I've got questions, folks, and there's lots of questions. Let me just try to get out any other relevant information they dropped yesterday. You can find all of this, like you can find this compilation. I'm going to post this link in chat. You can find all of this information here. Now, keep in mind, there are people who have data mined information and posted that in different places. Keep in mind, that is not officially released information and cannot be talked about in official channels. Like, you don't talk about this stuff on the Reddit. You don't talk about it in the regular Discord. You can talk about it in the well of spoilers in the Discord, and that's it. And all things are subject to change before release. There will be a new Founders Pack Year 4 coming out in September, because again, they're retiring the Founders Pack plus all of these other DLCs. The Founders Pack is not going on sale, though. That it's already considered on sale year-round, so keep that in mind. And for those of you who follow the Sketching Hour, Hoot the Overgrown Owlbear Fox and Clover the Flower Dragon Parrot are going to be familiars arriving in the future, based off things that were drawn on the Sketching Hour. Yep. That's the major stuff. You can catch all the rest of it on the subreddit. Back to questions. Are you aware of any streams, podcasts of any campaigns that use a planescape setting? I'm not. Dadius, Neris, or Puent? Neris. I already picked, but I'm hoping you make me feel better about my choice. I mean, Dadius works if you're doing like Artemis or Kira stacking. Otherwise, Neris. Ishi, Lucius, or Spurt? I'm thinking about this a long time. What do you think about Spurt? He's a core support for me right now, especially his ultimate. I mean, yeah. I mean, I use Spurt on my new player account. When I'm just doing normal pushes. When I'm doing these milestones, like when I'm trying to unlock like Dritz and Azaka, I try to stick to the core champions just to show it can be done. Oh, did I finish that already? I knew it wasn't going to take a half an hour speed. This is what happens when you have Briv jump stacks, folks. We're almost past 200 already. All right, so there's my 3 gold chests. And 8 silvers. And I'm done already. I'm done with my time gate. I'm going to close it. Now, as you'll notice, it says no gates currently open. So now if I want to do a time gate again, I have to pay for it. I got to pay for it. You get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. All right, let's just do the huge. Just do the huge. Okay, and then instant convert. I'm just going to throw it into Torm because that's just where everything goes. Let's turn my thing back on. There we go. Boom. Gem farming. For free time gate, Barrow, Frida, or Solis? Frida. Is Ayla's self-shield working fine? Most of the time, Ayla doesn't self-shield at all. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't in this case. I recommend either switching to a background formation and coming back, or closing your game out entirely and restarting it. I've seen that issue occasionally. Stokey Paulton or Lucius Paulton? Who would be better, Talon or Jim? Jim will probably help you if you're deep pushing and you're seeing a lot of single enemies on the screen left over on boss levels. Otherwise, Talon. Evelyn or Alindra? If you've got Aver and Alindra, Evelyn's a nice tank option in her slot, though. How's Torragar? My options are Grama, Farida, or Torragar. You already have Groma and Frida, though. I mean, yeah, pick up Torragar. He's okay. He's not super strong. He's not super weak. He just kind of is. He does need some farming to really unlock all of his potential. Yeah, I mean, he's okay. Averin, Strix, or Jim? Averin. If I quit the free time gate early, since I'm not a fan of any of the champs, can I still get 2 time gate pieces? Don't do that. Don't do that. Please. Please don't do that. I mean, you do whatever you want. Here's the way this whole... They need to take this out of the FAQ, because this is a remnant of the way time gates functioned. Well, I guess it still does work this way in the manual and the natural time gates. You're given 3 options, and if you don't like your option, you get 2 time gate pieces. Well, that refund was a function of manual time gates in the past, because before they upgraded time gates, you paid 6 time gate pieces for 3 random champions, and you might get people you didn't want. And to make that feel better, if you open it up, like you have to pick one of them, you'd open one up, and then you wouldn't do anything because all that were there were the 2 adventures and a free play. And then if you just didn't do anything, you got a time gate piece back based off, not doing those 2 adventures. So you could get 2. Or if you did 1 just to unlock the champ, but all you cared about was unlocking him, and then you wanted to bail, you'd get 1 back because you didn't do the second adventure. So, but that's not really a thing. Just unlock a champion you don't have. They'll auto gear up to blues with Electrum Chests, and then they'll be available for you when you need them in Patron variants. And you're going to need them in Patron variants. I don't know. I think they just need to get rid of that, but that's just me. But yeah, I mean, if all you care about are time gate pieces and you don't care about those champions, you can just open it, close it, don't do anything. You can't do anything in it, though, because if you leave the variant, that's not going to get you anything, because it shouldn't, because those refunds were based off the 2 base adventures and whether you did those or not. But honestly, I mean, I don't know if that functionality works in natural time gates, because I would never even consider doing that in a natural time gate, but you do you. Dinar, Barrowin, or Ryza? I have Dinar. Thinking to get Barrowin? Yeah, Barrowin or Ryza are probably both on par. Ryza needs Vlanya to kind of unlock full potential. Turiel or Ishii? Turiel. Any advice for which 2 champs has good synergy for a Tale of 2 Champions variant? Sunstar DK, Tale of 2 Champions isn't about the champions, really. It's about your click damage. So you put a familiar on your click damage to upgrade it, and you put a familiar or a bunch of familiars on the field to kill things. And that's the core of your push. You start off with 2 gold find champions, so Jarlaxle and someone else, that gives instant gold find. Not gold find on stacks like Krull or Freely, but instant gold find. And you just let the familiars click kill everything. When it gets to the point where enemies are reaching you because the familiars aren't killing things fast enough, then you can switch over to like a champion that builds up stacks like Krull or Freely. Both of these are click debuffers, but also have gold find based off stacks that build up. And then when you get to the point where you start needing something to tank in the front, you could use Krull as he's a bruiser-ish. I usually use like Grama because she's got a click debuff, and then whatever gold you want, generation you want from the second one. But ultimately, it's all about just pushing with your click damage. So you have to have enough favor to click kill to whatever the requirement zone is. You do not do Tale of Two Champions by finding two strong champions. We currently do not have champions of that power threshold or gear or anything. I mean, you would have to wait so long and dump so many item levels in to kill with two champions up to the level requirements they have. That's not what that variant is built around. Who should I pick for speed, Mel for Sentry? They both need gear and item levels. But I think Sentry works better in the current meta with Human and Briv and stuff. So I would go Sentry. On X Squared, is it possible to split the party between doing this time gate and the arrival of the new champion? Absolutely. Split the party is just one adventure. It's just one adventure. You can get through it in an hour or two. I've got a guide out that you can watch on that. Or, read. I think there's a video guide too. Well, I think the video guide was for Split the Party too, but yeah, I have a written guide out there. The big thing is when you get to the level 15 boss, the big tree, if you need to fill your whole party with champions to get by that boss, do it. I think in my guide I said like put 4 or 6 in there, but I can't remember which. I'll have to update that a bit. But basically, just use as many as you need. Use as many as you need just to get by that tree. After that, you're home free. Can you not expect heroes in a time gate? You can't. I mean, it just tells you the hero. You can't learn anything about them. You'd have to go. You'd have to go to external websites for that. My free time gate was Xander, my only unowned champion, Briv or Eliwick. Should I get Xander? Yeah, just finish it off. Get Xander. If that's the only one you have left, just go ahead. What specifications champions with Ashara makes them the best DPS? It depends. Mr. G's class, you're going to need to go watch that video that I did on the Ashara meta. It depends on your specializations. For Ashara DPS, you're going to use Potpourri out of the first set. So ignore humans, ignore dwarves and elves. You're going to go Potpourri for a DPS Ashara. But that second set, it just depends on who you have available. It depends on who you have available. The second specialization. So, you might have to hunt some champions down to light it up, but you're trying to get 3 bonds for each bond, like for each specialization. Wolfgar, Alindra, or Neris. Whatever. Ultimately, with these questions, you're going to want to prioritize whatever gets you split the party 1 or 2 faster. Outside of that, Neris. Dinar, Barwin, or Ryza. Oh, wait, we already had this one question. I think you guys have been asking questions multiple times. You only got to ask once. Sasha's great at pulling questions. Sergeant Knox or Walnut? Either one. Either one. Melf, Rosie, or Ishi? Melf. Alindra or Evelyn? Either one. Again, I think these are duplicates. Is Ayla still in rotation? She's not in events anymore, no. Who's retiring? Are we talking about the familiars? Like there are DLC retirements that are going on, and that's going to be, those are familiars and packs and things and skin packs. There's a whole list of that on the Codenames Entertainment blog. It's linked either in the Discord or on the Reddit. If you're talking the champions in the next event, what champion is not showing up in this next event? I think it's Jim? No, Ishi. Ishi won't be there. No, we get Jim and we get Omen. And we get Prudence. So it's going to be Jim, Omen, and Prudence in the next event. Ishi is not going to be arriving with a Garen's Day. Ishi's Time Gate champion now. Zorbu, Human, or Vlanya? Human. How hard is it to take care of your beard? Is it real? Yeah, it's real. I wash it and I comb it with a wooden comb. That's it. It's real easy, folks. Dice Soul Tales. I unlock Vajra as a patron, but I'm still around 1,000 loot levels from Mert. I'm not equipping myself properly. Yeah, you need to just be open. You need to be using your gems to buy chests and open your chests. You must have so many gems just sitting around. That or you were trying to only buy familiars. But yeah, you need to buy chests. You gotta buy chests and open chests to get item levels. Ishi or Ryza? Can't find a guide for a hero's entourage variant of Descent into Avernus. Oh, there probably isn't one. There probably isn't one. Stabagale, remind me. This is the one. I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. This is the one where Minsk. It's all built around Minsk. Is that right? If you're still here in chat, somebody else can tell me. Yeah. So if I remember correctly, you have a 3 front line, a 2 back line, and only champs only function if they're adjacent to Minsk. So you put Minsk in like the second line, either in the top or the bottom, and then you get like 4 other champions to put around them. So 2 tanks in the front line and then 2 supports. So you just got to go with your 2 strongest tanks and your 2 strongest supports, and hope for the best. I think that's why there isn't a guide for it, is because it really just depends on who you have. But you place Minsk in that second line, and that's going to give you the most potential adjacent champion slots, and that's 4. So yeah, it's rough. I'm a weekend, got Gromma, Melf, and Cathris. So far, Jarlaxle has been my number 1 DPS. Correct. So I'm thinking Melf or Cathris. No, you want Gromma. You want Gromma. Yeah, Gromma's going to do some serious work for you. Melf is way too far down the line to help you if you're still new enough that you're using Jarlaxle. So pick up Gromma, use her as a support in her Arctic spec. What's the second champion that likes unlimited blacksmith contracts? The first is Human. The second is Briv. Third, like a distant third, is Melf. What's the main way of getting new champions? Events and time gates. That's it. Events and time gates. Events happen every 3 weeks. A natural time gate happens every 3 weeks in between the events. And you can open a manual time gate every 6 pieces, which as a new player is about once a month. But as you unlock patrons, that speeds up to like once every other week. Narf. Choose between Deacon, Briv, and Korth. Deacon. Well, I would choose Deacon because Deacon does not need gear to do his speed effect, but Briv is a solid other choice. It's just Briv isn't going to be as contribute as much to speed in your party without lots of gear. So Deacon or Briv. I'm not running the same scenario as you, but I'm at E186 and Walled at 660, while you were at roughly the same DPS when I started typing this. You went blowing past the same level. What are you doing differently? Probably debuffs. I know they're not supposed to stack with damage, but it was probably debuffs. Does a silver chest per 100 levels mean I could spend all 72 hours farming silver champs for my event champs with reset? No. Again, it's unique 100 levels, so the first time you hit 100, you can't just go to 100 50 times and get 50 silver chests. I got 8 silver chests because I made it past level 800. Even though I got past 700 twice, I didn't get credit for those again, so no. You can't just farm lots of silver chests. Any way to unlock free champions? Yeah, this time gate that's going on right now will give you 1 free champion, and then you can sign up for the newsletter in-game via the menu. It says it has a newsletter option over here. Habam, newsletter. And you'll get Hitch free. And then there's an event starting on Wednesday that's going to give you 3 champions. Omen, Jim, and Prudence. For Shard, we think the rabbit folk, I can't spell the proper name, Harengon, will fall under potpourri or exotic. We have no idea. And it may not fall under any of them. Not everyone has to fall under one of Ashar's bonds. Where can I find Towering Expectations to unlock Strahd? In Barovia. So on the Sword Coast, when you push through the Sword Coast far enough, you'll enter the Mists and end up in Barovia. And Towering Expectations is the final adventure in Barovia that then takes you back to the Sword Coast. Is Bertson considered a speed champ? No. She does not have a speed effect. However, she is a fast attack multi-attacker, and so I use her in my gem formations to churn through the barricades in Mad Wizard. When my time to get, should I get Avron? I'm not even finishing this. Avron. Grommer or Freely for the free time gate. Freely. Talon or Palton. Palton. Turiel Wolfgar or Jaheira. Turiel. We only have a few minutes left. I'm actually... Oh my gosh, folks. I'm within... Okay. I'm going to do this real quick. What do you think about Jim and Omen? I think they're coming in the next adventure. And they're from Acquisitions Incorporated. Jim is used to chicken out enemies that are leftovers, like the single enemies on boss levels, so that you can get by them and kill them real quick. But that aspect of Jim may change in the future for balance reasons. Omen's a gold find champion. I use in my Ashara formations. McNeil, I had a gate open at the start of the free gate this weekend and extended my current gate. Is that a bug or a feature? That's a bug. Brass Finger, time gates gave me Stokey, Freely, or Shandy. I already have Freely and Shandy. Then pick Stokey. Yeah. Where's your Human percent in Sword Coast? I don't know. Let's wait. Let's wait until his ultimate fires off. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. I know some people are like, that's all they care about, and I just really don't. Turiel or Ishii? Turiel. Ishii's probably always going to be the last choice, if that's ever an option. Ishii is just a DPS champion and does nothing else, really. A DPS gold fine, but if you're not using her for DPS, then she's she's never going to get really used. And she's not a great DPS, she's an okay DPS. So I just don't use Ishii. So 839 before I ult. There we go. 1679% on my Human in Sword Coast. I don't know if that's good or not. The time gate, Dinar and Rack or Puent? Dinar. Birdsong, Ayla, or Lazaps? Ayla. I'm now live in chat. How can you get familiar? How many familiars can you get without spending $1? 4 patrons. Well, yeah, the 4 patrons plus however many are in the gem shop currently. That's it. Yeah, you can put the Deacon code in chat if it still works. Do levels after soft cap change anything or help in any way? You get a small amount of bonus. You get like a 1% bonus to DPS, so it only really matters in that sense on your DPS champion. Otherwise, you get a small heal. I think like every level is like either a 5 or 10% heal. That's only useful in situations where your entire party is taking damage, and then you put it on X1 and then you heal them up as a group. And that's it, folks. We answered like 125 questions, because I think I grabbed 2 from chat. 125 questions today. Tomorrow, tune in to... Oh, no. Tomorrow. I gotta double check. Am I really doing this tomorrow? Yeah, I am. Gaarawarr's Guide to the Zorbu meta. We talked about Ashara last week, because Ashara is the #1 DPS in the game currently. If you do things right. Zorbu's still #2, though. So we're going to talk Zorbu meta tomorrow. So join me tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacifically, for that. I'm out of here. We're going to listen to The Greatest Bard in the Multiverse from Bardic Inspiration this week. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
She's the greatest bard in the multiverse. It all started with a car, with a flip of a redstone morning mist. It really wasn't hard. Was a lucky draw, could have been real wrong. And then she doubled down. Well, the moon was kind, and from her own mind, she became the best around. She drew a card and took a chance. Turn it back, time to advance. Everywhere time was strong, didn't know what she had done. Speeding down the plane around, with her friend broke and a killer rip. Planes walker, fail on hopper. The music melts hearts and minds. She's the greatest part of our time. She danced with the moon and she made a wish, then beguiled the prince of the fae. She won the heart of a dragon god, and then she went away. She's calmed the fury of all night hell and brought a demon to tears. She's twisted the mind of a great archmage with a storm and a wicked sneer. She took the deck of to grin and never on. To Ravnica, she's been and gone.